Hello, my name's Tamara. My American dream is to have the ability to have choices and opportunities, and not just myself, but my two daughters. Why am I gonna cry? So, sorry. You can only get those with a higher education now. I started school, dropped out of school, started school, dropped out of school. My daughters are 10 and 13, and I always tell them, you have to go to college, you have to go to college, you have to go to college. I never went to college, I never finished college, I should say. So I decided I had to go back to school. I had to finish, I wasn't gonna be a hypocrite, needed to get it done. So my biggest challenge was we had an opportunity at the local college, university, to have an accelerated bachelor's program. However, I needed 24 units, general ed units, before I could start that program. 24 units, 1 or 2 classes a semester for 4 to 5 years. That wasn't gonna cut it. The kids were gonna be out of high school before I even finished. So I went to the local junior college, community college, and I just happened to walk in at the time when they were starting a pilot program. And they introduced me to one of the counselors. There's 2 designated counselors, and they said, you need to talk to Rebecca. And she said, we have this great program. It's accelerated. You'll take 1 or 2 classes at a time. They're hybrid, online, and in class, and you can finish your AA. So I did. I signed up that day.
So my name is Buffy Tanner. I'm the director of the ACE program at Shasta College. ACE started out as an accelerated college in education and now is the associate completion in the evenings program. Shasta College is in far northern California. We have more in common with West Virginia and Kentucky than we do with the rest of the state. Our economy is based on, or was based on, resource extraction, but those jobs have dried up. And now our economy is based on the living wage jobs are in education, they're in government, and they're in healthcare. Those all require higher education at some level. Tamara is not alone in having some college and no degree. 31% of our 3-county service area has some college and no degree. And we are the only public institution of higher education as the community college in a 10,000 square mile area. If we didn't do something to help students like Tamara finish their degree, nobody else was. And so we started the program, which is highly structured, and as Tamara mentioned, the courses are structured in such a way that it works with a working adult schedule. And so what did that schedule mean to you?
The chance to finish. I was able to take, amazingly enough, I finished 44 college units in 17 months. So, yes. So I'm walking away from Shasta College with 2 AAs, and I will start at the Chico State University in January.
So we're of the original cohort that started in June 2016, 51 students. So at this point, yes, we are a boutique program. A full third finished within that 16 months. Another third is still in school, and they're plugging away. Some people had to step out for a minute because, as Sarah mentioned, life happens when you're an adult student. It's not if, it is a when. And then we also had about another third that either they moved away or they decided the program wasn't the right fit, or they got job promotions. Some people built up the confidence through the program to go for that promotion, and then the learning curve at work was too much to balance with school. We're not entirely letting go of that last third that went away. But we are definitely looking for a better deal for these students. Thank you for listening to our story.
I'm Jeff Krane. I'm 48 years old. I have a wife, Andrea, a son, Seth, who's 8. And as of August of this year, I'm a graduate of the University of Louisville. In 1987, when I graduated high school, it was 30 years ago, I went to college straight out of high school. I took classes on and off for about 4 years, and while I was cultivating my talent for music. And in 1991, an opportunity presented itself for me to chase a dream of being a professional musician. And I had to choose between school and dreams. And I chose dreams. And I left school and went on the road, and my music career played itself out over 8 years. And in 1999, I started a career in sales, which I'm still involved in today. But in 2008, after being a professional for a while, me and my wife were pregnant with Seth, and I had been saying for years, I should go back to school, I should finish my degree. And she just looked at me and said, you know, if you'd done it when you first started talking about it, you'd be finished already. And she was right. So I enrolled in the class in 2008 and went back to campus. And it was really odd for me because I was going to school with people half my age, hadn't taken a class in 17 years. And I was taking history of the world, civilizations, or, you know, it was a gen ed class just to get back into it, get acclimated going to school again. And I was really discouraged by what I thought the process was going to be. And Matt Bergman called me one day and said, I am now involved in this program called Workforce Leadership, and it is tailor-made for students like you. You need to enroll in this program. And I did. And the reasons I wanted to go back to school are we were pregnant with Seth, and I wanted to go back as an example for him. We saw the statistics yesterday on what it does to increase the chances of your children to graduate with a higher education degree if both of the parents have higher education degrees. And my wife has a graduate degree from Louisville, but I also wanted to do that. So when my son came of age to go to school, he would have that example. The second reason is for personal satisfaction. I wanted to finish what I started. The third is I promised Dad. I promised my dad I'd do it when I left. And he's still alive to see it. And he's a huge influence on me. If parents set that kind of example, when I left, he was disappointed, not in me as a person, but he wanted me to finish. And he is probably more thrilled than anyone that I did it. Probably more than me. I'm not going to lie about that. He is thrilled. But when I finally got involved in the program again and I was going through school, the challenges that I experienced are familiar to a lot of students, I think. You know, I have a child, time constraints. I'm successful at what I do. I work 60 hours a week. I could only do class material after everybody had gone to bed and it was quiet. So at 11 o'clock at night, I was up doing it. I took online courses almost exclusively. Without that, it wouldn't have happened. I did everything online, so I never had to go to campus. And the third one is, I didn't bring my cheats with me.
PLA.
Mm-hmm.
PLA.
Oh, well, I'm getting to that. But anyway, the challenges are familiar to a lot of the other students that are sharing their stories. I think those are familiar to a lot of people. The keys to my success, which is what I really want to talk about, are first and foremost this man right here. He encouraged me. It took me 9 years to go through the program. And because of my work schedule being so intense, I had to take semesters off. But man, that registration for next semester would roll around, and Matt was like, hey, you gonna take a class this semester? And he always got me back on that path and kept me focused on getting to the end so I wouldn't get too far away like I did before. That was really important. And I haven't thanked you for that, but I am now. The other really, really big successful thing for me in the Workforce Leadership Program, and what I found out yesterday is unique to me compared to all the other students up here, I believe, is prior learning assessment. My prior learning assessment enabled me to qualify for 38 college credits, 38 hours of college credits. That also saved me $20,000 in tuition. I mean, that is huge. And when I found out that these other students don't have that available to them, I was blown away. I was blown away by that because I'm not in higher education like everybody here. I didn't know that. I just found out yesterday talking to Tamara down there that just shared her story. She's like, oh, I wish I had that. I'm like, you don't? And she said, no. And I was like, oh my gosh. Because when I went through the PLA process, got out, Matt's like, you only have 10 classes left. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was buried in the history of world civilization. And now I can see the end. I mean, that happened in 3 months. And I was like, wow. That was huge for me.
So at the University of Louisville, can you hear me? Yeah. At the University of Louisville, we offer up to 48 college credit hours for PLA and the Bachelor of Science in Organizational Leadership and Learning. And that's right, I said 48. Beauty of this is that it does not impact the discipline. Many faculty in the room are a little bit reluctant to embrace the idea of PLA specifically because they think it might impede on the courses that one would have to take in the discipline. When you walk away with a degree, you want them to have the expertise within the discipline. This process provides enough elective and work specialization credit to cover a gap that creates a bridge in the vast divide of what used to be for Mr. Krane. We love our students. I love this guy.
I love him too.
And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate hearing from Jimmy and hearing from these other folks on stage because it affirms everything we do on a daily basis. For Jimmy to tell us not to quit, I love it. I'm going to go back and I'm not going to quit. All the times we get frustrated, we bang our heads against the wall. When I'm trying to tell someone about you're giving it away. And I'm like, let me explain this. I'll keep pushing, thanks to these folks.
Hi, my name is Carrie Johnson, and I'm from North Carolina. And my American dream is to become a welder and open my own welding business. When I was about 10 years old, my grandpa taught me everything I needed to know about welding. And ever since then, I've just really enjoyed it. Well, for some reason or another, I decided to go to UNC Asheville for a year, and I enrolled in the mechatronics program. But I did not like it as much as I thought I would, so I left and I came back home to my community college, Vance Granville, and I enrolled in the welding program over the summer. After enrolling in the program, my advisor that I received at the beginning told me that she didn't think a girl should do welding. So I felt like I was on my own and I didn't know what to do. And I didn't receive financial aid. I didn't receive my dad's VA benefits. And I was forced to go get a job and figure out what I was going to do on my own. And then over the summer, my instructor, Luke, actually introduced me to Tiffany, and she helped me get everything that I needed as far as classes, applying for scholarships, and she's helped me a lot. And I just wanted to thank her.
Oh, Carrie. So when I met Carrie and she was going through all these issues and we started talking about her dreams and her plans and what had happened, you could kind of see just like a little weight lifting off her because, I wanted to support her and help her find her way. And in the beginning, she had some really simple problems, like she wanted to change her major, she needed to get registered for classes. She didn't know where to go get her ID and her parking pass and things like that. So I was just there to kind of assist her with those things at the beginning. And I find that when you're able to assist a student with problems, if you can do it quickly and if you can do it correctly first time, then they start to trust you. And trust is so important in a coach and student relationship because you want them to trust you and be able to open up to you when life does happen to them and things start to get in the way. If you don't know that, then how are you going to help them? So she told me about, working, paying for school. She let me know, unfortunately, what someone on our staff had said to her regarding her dreams, which was very disappointing. But we worked through it. And you trust me? Yes, she does. And you know, there's a lot more students out there that I'm working with that just have these issues that I wouldn't know otherwise unless I had really put in the time to develop a relationship with them. Like I have one student last year, he became homeless during the semester. Another student whose dad has to bring him back and forth, but his dad is also an alcoholic. So sometimes in the morning, his dad's not ready to bring him to school, and so he's missing, and we're trying to work through those type of issues. And like I just said, and like everyone's been saying, life happens. And as a coach, I try to be there from beginning to end to help them navigate around, sometimes through whatever issues come up. So for Carrie, we came up with a few little plans, which she elaborated on, but I'll let you say it.
Yeah, I hope to receive the scholarship I applied for, which is the American Welding Society Scholarship, which is a good chunk of money. And I'm not going to get financial aid, but she did introduce me to the Workforce Initiative Director, who said that she could help me get my books and everything else while I'm working and going to school. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Alonzo Johnson, and my American dream is to be happy and be fulfilled, basically. Much like the gentleman standing next to me, I went to school many, many, many years ago. Started out at University of Memphis before it was actually university. It was actually called Memphis State. Go Tigers!
Yes.
And I was a decent student, but over time, things from the outside started influencing me and getting in the way of my studies. Living in Memphis as a musician, I had many opportunities to pursue my dream of being a musician. So I kind of got lax like I said, in my studies, and decided to give up school and pursue my dream of being a singer. I was somewhat successful at that. I can't lie, I was pretty good. But over time, things don't quite work out as well as you think. The older you get, your childhood dreams just don't work out like you expected them to. So I decided to leave my music career and get a real job, settle down and start making some money and whatnot. Over the course of that 20-year process, I had multiple jobs, but always hit a wall. The wall I hit was the fact I didn't have my degree. I would get a job or temp or do something, and then only make it to a certain level and not break that ceiling because no one saw any potential in me beyond the fact that I never finished. them. So fast forward, earlier this year, again after my third time being laid off, I decided to use my free time to look into going back to school. Since I had all these credits, all the years at University of Memphis, I was like, let me log on and reapply as an out-of-state student because now I live in New York City, and try to become a student again. And I won't even explain to you the horror stories of trying to do that on your own. Again, being from out of state, trying to reach someone over the phone, doing everything online, it was just kind of tedious. And like Mr. McMillan said before, I mean, he really broke it down. It was just really discouraging. Again, I wanted to finish it, but it was just a hard, long process. And at one point I was like, is it really worth it? And then magically, I get contacted by someone from Tracy's office. Her name was Leanne, or is Leanne. I call her my angel. She reached out to me and said that she had gotten my name through another advisor that I had been working with through the online application process, and told me that she could help me out, that I was a candidate for a program that she worked for that allowed continuing students to think of education in a different way. I had gone in headlong thinking that I was going to finish the bachelor's degree that I had started many years ago, but that process would have been long. And she told me, why don't you think about another alternative? Maybe think about a different degree, something similar to what you were doing, but not the same degree, but taking some classes where you can actually finish and have a bachelor's degree. That way you have that paper in your hand. And I was like, shoot, of course. On top of all that, she also broke down the fact that the program could help me accelerate the process. Like, it wouldn't take me 2 or 3 years of online courses and going back and forth and figuring out which credits I need, all that. She broke down all the past credits that I had and showed me if you are approved for this program, you could finish your degree in like 3 classes. And I was like, what? So yeah, so the acceleration was key. Also the affordability of it. I mean, the program Finish Line offered me classes that were not nearly as much as the regular courses. I pay what, a fourth of what I would have paid in the general courses based on the courses that the Finish Line program offered me. So long story short, starting in late March with my process, I'll finish my degree in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So after waiting and waiting and waiting for 20 long years, all that waiting will pay off because of the simple fact I just decided one day to get the darn thing done. And I can't thank Finish Line enough for helping me with that process. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alonzo. I'm Tracy Robinson, the director of our Finish Line program and prior learning assessment programs at the University of Memphis. We are so delighted to help students like Alonzo. We launched our program 4 years ago, and Alonzo will be one of a total of 450 students that we will have graduated through the December in a 4-year period, and we are so excited about that option. So thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for hearing our story.
No, thank you.